Alright, so I'm doing a rebuild and trans brake on this 4l80, and now I'm going to check the front and rear end play. So full disclosure, this is the first time I've ever done this, but I do have the manual, and I'm just basically going through and doing what the manual says. Alright, so I do have my dial indicator set up here. What I'm doing is I'm just using a bolt inside of the input shaft, and I have a nut on it. So there is a little bit of play in there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the nut so I can see the needle move right back to 0, so I know that I do have tension on it and there's not a gap. And I'm going to pull up on the input shaft, so there's going to be some play back and forth, and that's just the shaft moving in and out and catching on the snap ring. So that is not your end play adjustment. That'll have to be subtracted. So looks like we got, just going to move this shaft in and out to kind of get it settled, and then I can move this. I'm going to try to move that back to 0. So that's just the input shaft moving in and out. So it's going from about 1 to 16 thousandths right now. So I'm going to take it to that 15, 16 thousandths, and then I'll pull out more on it. Now we got about another 9 to 10 thousandths. So it's almost to 25. So that's the input shaft movement, and then that would be the end play adjustment. So it looks like I'm at about 9 thousandths right now for the end play adjustment. The book for the front end play shows it can be 4 thousandths to 22 thousandths. So that's actually on the low end of the range, but still within spec. Now I'll do the rear end play, and rear says it should be from 5 to 25. All right, so the front here, I got this set up and it's on 10 thousandths right now. 0 is right here. So I'm gonna stick a pry bar right in this hole here underneath the rear carrier assembly. And I'm just going to pry up on this thing. So here, if I just go to where it moves freely, it's about 4 to 5. And then if I really tug on it, it's about 7. So the rear is 7, the front is 9, so the front is about 2 thousandths more than the rear. So I also did do the rear before I put the center support bolt in. It's 7 thousandths on the rear, 9 thousandths on the front, so that's actually a good thing. You want the front to be a little bit more than the rear because the thrust inside the case is trying to push everything forward, so you don't want to have more in the rear because it'll kind of smash the front. So this should be good, 2 thousandths difference. It's pretty tight, but within specs, so it should be good.